Haywood Park. That's coming up at around about 4 o'clock. The weather here in Lancashire, nearer to kick-off time, cloudy, possible showers, temperatures reaching a maximum of 8 degrees centigrade, wind westerly 15 to 20 miles an hour. It's already raining, I can tell you. That's where we are, Andy and myself. Before that, we're off to Twerton Park to see Bath City play Hereford in the second round of the FA Cup. A tie at Stoke awaits the winners. The weather there, cloudy, sunny spells, possibly. Looks a little brighter, doesn't it? Possible showers as well, temperatures reaching 10 degrees, winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now, you may have missed the third round draw last night. It was so late and a little quick as well. If that was the case, here it comes again.
Number 38.
Swindon Town.
Number 14.
Will play Ipswich Town.
Number 28.
Oxford United.
Number 40.
Will play Tranmere Rovers.
Number 47.
Preston North End.
Number 63.
Will play AFC Bournemouth or Nuneaton Borough.
Number 18.
Luton Town.
Number 35.
Will play Southend United.
Number 50.
Stockport County.
Number 31.
Will play Queen's Park Rangers.
Number 42.
West Ham United.
Number 41.
Will play Watford.
Number 55.
Cardiff City.
Number 21.
Will play Middlesbrough.
Number 64.
Wycombe Wanderers.
Number 24.
Will play Norwich City.
Number 62.
Bromsgrove Rovers.
Number 3.
Will play Barnsley.
Number 44.
That's Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Number 10.
Will play Crystal Palace.
Number 33.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Number 25.
Will play Nottingham Forest.
Number 22.
Millwall.
Number 1.
Will play Arsenal.
Number 23.
Newcastle United.
Number 9.
Will play Coventry City.
Number 7.
Charlton Athletic.
Number 48.
Will play Burnley.
Number 36.
Stoke City.
Number 61.
Will play Bath City or Hereford United.
Number 45.
Bolton Wanderers.
Number 12.
Will play Everton.
Number 59.
Plymouth Argyle.
Number 49.
Will play Chester City.
Number 43.
Wimbledon,
Number 53.
will play Walsall or Scunthorpe United.
Number 13.
Grimsby Town
Number 46.
will play Wigan Athletic.
Number 60.
Barnet
Number 8.
will play Chelsea.
Number 6.
Bristol City
Number 17.
will play Liverpool.
Number 4.
Birmingham City
Number 57.
will play Kidderminster Harriers.
Number 58.
Leyton Orient or Exeter City
Number 2.
will play Aston Villa.
Number 19.
Manchester City
Number 16.
will play Leicester City.
Number 32.
Sheffield United
Number 20.
will play Manchester United.
Number 34.
Southampton
Number 51.
will play Port Vale.
Number 15.
Leeds United
Number 54.
will play Crewe Alexandra.
Number 26.
Notts County
Number 56.
will play Sutton United.
Number 27.
Oldham Athletic
Number 11.
will play Derby County.
Number 5.
Blackburn Rovers
Number 30.
will play Portsmouth.
Number 37.
Sunderland
Number 52.
will play Carlisle United.
And number 29.
Peterborough United
Number 39.
will play Tottenham Hotspur.
Some interesting matches there. What about Millwall Arsenal? George Graham taking the holders back to Millwall.
Good for George, isn't it? Great, full of nostalgia, that tie for George, where he started his managerial career and taking it to a slightly changed Den, I think, from what George imagines, the new Den, looking a far different place to when George was there. There's another one that interests me, Richard, that not many people might have picked up. It puts the Hoddle brothers together. That's Barnet against Chelsea. And I just wonder who this reminds people of. Now, just watch this little bit of skill. And I just think there are shades of his brother in this finish here. This is actually Carl Hoddle from yesterday against Crawley to put his team 2-0 up. And who does that remind you of, I wonder?
That has Glenn Hoddle written all over it, doesn't it?
Not half, and they'll be looking forward to getting together. I'm sure Carl will be hoping Glenn's fit as well and playing.
Bolton against Everton. Bolton, of course, put Liverpool out last year. Everton maybe this time around, who surely will have a new manager by then.
I would imagine so. They've got, what, about a month to go before this round takes place, and I would imagine, unless Everton have got other ideas, that the new manager will be well in place. And having beaten one half of Merseyside last year at this round, and I don't think Everton will be holding too many fears for Bolton just now, especially the way they played yesterday live on Sky. It was a great performance.
Briefly, Manchester United get the chance of revenge when they go back to Bramall Lane to play Sheffield United.
They're looking forward to it. It's a tough tie. I think there are a lot of ties Alex Ferguson would have liked to have taken rather than his team back to Sheffield United. But the one thing he'll know is Dave Bassett's men will be fired up and ready for them.
Manchester United are still the favourites, incidentally, 9-2. You can get 8-1 on the holders, Arsenal and Newcastle, 9-1 Blackburn, 10s Aston Villa and Leeds United, 12s Liverpool and Norwich City. 14-1 Tottenham, 16-1 Sheffield Wednesday, the beaten finalists last year, 22-1 Queen's Park Rangers and West Ham, 25s Wimbledon, 28-1 Everton, 33-1 Manchester City and 40-1 Chelsea. And the two teams we're going to see today, 2,000-1 on Hereford, 5,000-1 on Bath City. Is there anybody taking that? This is Twerton Park, the venue of that FA Cup second round tie today, the home of Bath City and Bristol Rovers, of course. But it's Bath today that we're concentrating on, and Hereford United, who have had their moments, of course, in the FA Cup. 1972, remember, when they dumped Newcastle United out. Hereford were a non-league side then. We've live football from Twerton Park coming up next.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Oh no. I found the most amazing bargain.
Oh, yeah.
I saved so much money.
Oh, yeah.
So, I got one for you too.
Burger King.
Bacon double cheeseburger and regular fries, only $1.99.
Oh, yeah! You want it your way, at Big Gear, you got it!
Recording your favourite programmes now couldn't be easier or faster with Video Plus, the instant video programmer. Make your selections from the TV listings pages and then simply tap the Plus code numbers into the Video Plus handset. And it automatically sets your video for you, selecting the channel on your video and satellite receiver. So now you can record your favourite programmes without hanging about. Thanks to Video Plus.
Come to Curry's this Christmas for a sensational range to choose from. All the help and advice you want, low prices, and interest-free credit on products over £200. It's on all our special TV video package deals, like this Ferguson TV video package, with built-in Video Plus and £120 saving, backed by our same-day in-home repair service.
Great, I'll take it.
Better service, low prices, and interest-free credit. Great reasons to choose Curry's this Christmas.
Dad, you like bubbles, don't you, Dad?
Yeah.
Good, because I found some over here, here.
Ooh, Aaron. Lovely bubbly.
Wanna keep me?
Wanna keep me?
If you do, the world's best-selling anti-theft device, the Club. Steer clear of anything less. Want to keep it? Club it.
Sun comes up, it's a brand new day as the Sun Valley chefs get underway. Now quality's where they begin. If it don't measure up, then it don't go in. Preparation, that's the test. They really do those ingredients best.
Great recipes, can't wait to eat them.
Ready real quick, because you just have to heat them.
Tasty, no-fuss chicken and turkey dishes, already doodled up by Sun Valley.
Where only the best will do.
Here's one whose 10-year-old hit I Wish I Could Fly was re-released as an Acid House record.
The Trivial Pursuit 1993 annual edition. You won't know unless you play. Ford Monday Night Football has really got the right stuff with a thrilling London derby. The Arsenal-Spurs matchup is always a scorcher. In August, the Gunners took the honours.
Oh, screamer!
So Aussie's boys are out to even the score. Take a tip from George and reserve your seat for tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, exclusively live on Sky Sports.
Welcome back. Remember, 2 live games this afternoon. Around about 4 o'clock, we're at Ewood Park to see Blackburn play Chelsea, with Premiership action before that from yesterday. And coming up, FA Cup second round action between Bath City and Hereford United, live from Twerton Park. Let's have a look who the bookies fancy today. Bath 5-4, Hereford 7-4. You can get 9-4 on the draw. Match commentators today, the former Hereford manager, there he is, John Sillett, who's been taking his job very seriously this week. He's been watching both teams train, and Ian Dark.
Hi, Richard. Nice to town by saying, welcome, friends, Roman.
Well, plainly, we have a problem with the sound from Bath City, which we'll rectify and rejoin John Sillett and Ian Dark very shortly now. But big day for Bath City, Andy, isn't it? Hereford United, the opposition, who have had their moments, as I've said, but Bath with a chance to get into the third round and face Stoke at the Victoria Ground.
Well, you'll be amazed at how much expectation is in the Bath dressing room at this moment in time. It's such a big, big day for all their players. They want to create their own little piece of history. Hereford know what it's all about. You mentioned that wonderful day in the 70s against Newcastle when all Hereford went wild. And Bath are hoping they can do the same sort of thing today for them. To get into the third round would be absolutely wonderful for them. And they'll expect it. They really will. I know it'll be a giant killing act in those terms, but Bath, I'll fancy their chances. The odds suggest that the bookies fancy Bath, which is unusual. You don't often get the non-league side favourites against the league side. And Bath are in the bookies' eyes. So that shows you that they fancy them as well. So this might not be as much of a shock as normally you'd imagine if Bath get the result today.
We got a brief glimpse of the playing surface there, Andy. Bearing in mind that Bristol Rovers also play at Twerton Park, it did look very good, didn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad, Richard. I think we can remember from last year as well when we watched Bristol Rovers play Aston Villa there. There was a lot of rain on it that night, but it stood up to it very, very well indeed. And I quite like it anyway. If it cuts up a little bit, I love that.
I know you do.
Cup's all about. Get the lads ploughing through the mud, slide tackles, full of commitment. That all adds to the excitement for me.
A couple of interesting strips here. Hereford United on the left there. Bath City on the right. Let's have a go and see if we can rejoin John Sillett and Ian Dark. We're trying, promise you.
Quite that known, Darky.
It's quite nice, in fact, isn't it? We'll rejoin them very shortly. Bath City and Hereford United. Let's have a brief look at these teams this afternoon. Bath City first, the 1-2-11, which I know a lot of you like. Mogg, Gill, Dix, Boyle, Crowley, Cousins, Williams, Chenoweth, Adcock, Mings and Brooks. And this is how they'll line up. Interesting role for Boyle there, Andy, who we saw getting some treatment beforehand. I don't know if that was just a warm-up or whether he's had problems.
No, that'll just be... Lots of players enjoy the physio, give them a good rub down, Richard, get the muscles stretched and warm.
Grantley Dix there wearing 3, the brother of Julian Dix. You may have seen that little feature on Sky Soccer Weekend Friday night. And this is Hereford United. Managed, of course, by Greg Downs, who succeeded John Sillett, who we'll hear from very shortly. The 1-2-11 again, Judge, Clark, Downs, who takes the number 3 jersey, Davis, Smith, Rees, Hall, Harrison, Pike, Pickard and Nicholson.
It's a nice thing about being player-manager, isn't it, Richard? You can pick yourself and look at Greg Downs there. He's using all his experience. Perhaps the legs may not be as strong as ever, but he's picked himself a sweeper there, and that's him using his experience.
Let's see if we can find Ian Duck for you. Ian.
Welcome back to Twerton Park. I hope those through the teams. You'll notice that Julian Dix's brother, Grantley, is in the Bath side today. This, of course, normally a town where Jeremy Gus... It's the football team's turn today, though, bidding to reach the third round of the FA Cup. And, of course, the prize here is a match against Stoke City away. There's Greg Downs, who is... Bath City are in the black and white stripes, attacking the goal to your right here. Hereford United, who have been drawn away to non-league opposition on 7 of the last 8 occasions.
I think you'll find Hereford in will be playing with a sweeper. I think Greg Downs will go on the sweeper.
So Bath getting us underway, and an early chance for A.D. Mings to get a touch of the ball. The tall Bath striker. John Sillett, it's a pretty good draw awaiting the winner of this tie, really, away to Stoke City. They'll make a bit of money out of that, if nothing else.
Ian, it's a wonderful draw to play for, you know, and to know who they've got to go and meet and got to do the business here today. What I can see is Bath being a side that are very dangerous on set pieces and good on the break from midfield. Hereford will have to be aware of that.
That's Crowley getting it away for Bath. They, of course, share this ground with Bristol Rovers, and visitors in the FA Cup to these parts in recent seasons have included Liverpool and Aston Villa. Liverpool were held to a 1-1 draw here by Bristol Rovers. Quite a big slope on the pitch. Slopes away as you're looking at it from right to left. And it's a bit deceptive as well. Hereford in this patchwork quilt outfit, change strip of theirs. Now, up goes Pike there. Here's Nicholson. And an early chance for Hereford.
Yes, Nicholson's the type of player, he's got good feet, naturally left-footed, he'll play wide on the left here, and he will go in and make things very difficult for the Bath defence, because he'll take people on. Here he looks as though he might have got a deflection there, could have been slightly unlucky. It's a good strike, just got a deflection to put it over the bar, but the referee, Vic Keller, didn't see that.
That's Brooks helping it on for Bath, and Smith with the interception for Hereford. Clark gets it away. Pickard, who's made quite a good impression since he's arrived at Hereford, the number 10. Hereford are struggling down towards the foot of Division 3, but they've done very well. I was telling you they've been drawn away 7 of 8 times to non-league opposition. They've never lost when they've been drawn away, though they were beaten by Yeovil in a replay at home last year. Williams lets that one run. They can't believe their luck, you know, Hereford, in these draws. And, of course, yesterday, again, away, they came out again, this time to Stoke City, should they get past Bath.
I think they must have killed a robin somewhere along the way down at Hereford. But they don't mind. They get results away from home because they're a battling side. They've got the great cup traditions.
There's Mings trying to get on this, but Smith gets it away. He used to be with you as well, didn't he, John?
Yes, Kevin Smith, I signed when I was at Coventry, signed him from Rotherham. He didn't give Cyril Regis a kick on 2 occasions, and I thought, well, if he can do that with Cyril, he can do that to anybody. He just didn't quite make it.
This is Grantley Dix taking the throw. Even moves like his brother as well. And by the way, he's been sent off twice this season. I make no other comment. Here's Mings. And Jerry Harrison letting it run out of play on that far side. This fellow, A.D. Mings here, is actually a bit of a budding actor. He had a role in Casualty, playing a rugby player on that occasion.
Well, he's got a magnificent physique. You know, I would have thought he could play a boxing role. You know, I stood beside him in the tunnel. He's a tremendous physique, and he's got good pace, left-footed, favours his left foot, and will take players on. He'll do the unexpected in this match, I assure you.
Bath City, by the way, lying in 5th place in the Vauxhall Conference at the start of play. They've been on a good run of late, although their home form has been a bit patchy until a 3-0 win against Slough here in midweek. Number 4 taking it. This is Gareth Davis. No, he's going to leave it for the captain, Derek Hall. It's Brooks getting it away for Bath. Here's Nicholson for Hereford. No room at all to move down there. Smith getting it forward, and then Jerry Gill for Bath City. Very congested just down there in front of us, John.
Yeah, very tight there. You know, really, they've got to be looking to change the play. They're playing down one side, Hereford, at the moment. They've got to be aware that the change of play ball will be on. The one thing Hereford can't afford to do, Ian, is to give a silly goal away early. They've got to keep their discipline and keep their shape and not try to be too fanciful.
This is Jerry Gill taking the throw. Knocked in and all falling around dangerously in there. And in the end, it was Harrison who brings it away for Hereford. He was being attacked by Chenoweth in the centre. After Cousins' cross. And here's Cousins again. Good work from him. It's aimed towards Adcock, who's very, very dangerous, the little number 9 for Bath City. Smith clearing it for Hereford. Here's Cousins again. He started the match very well indeed, Robbie Cousins, the number 6.
When I saw Hereford play training in midweek, they looked as though they had that problem sorted out, because I felt that Cousins is a type of player and he's a superb crosser of the ball, and he's a very busy little player. He's both up and back. They've got to be aware of him and get tight to him.
So Greg Downs with the free kick. Not the best of ones from him. Gill with a no-nonsense clearance, but Mings might make something of it. It's an awkward bounce for that defence. And in the end, Alan Judge, who was in Oxford United's League Cup winning side in 1986, claims it. He says he's never had any kind of decent run at all in the FA Cup.
No, but he's got to think positive, isn't he, really?
Well, he says he starts this year.
It could all start this year, exactly right.
That's Kevin Smith. Had a little bit more time, I think, than he realised, and the Hall fighting in with the challenge on Chenoweth.
I just feel that Hereford will need to settle. They'll take 10, 15 minutes to settle, and then we'll see them start playing a little more football.
Bath City were available at 5,000 to 1 to win the FA Cup not so long ago. There's Harrison over there, who played here for Bristol City last year when they were beaten 4-0. He hasn't got very happy memories of the ground. Pickard, and caught on the edge of the box, and that's going to be a free kick in a dangerous position because of Crowley's challenge.
Well, I just feel here that Pickard's got the ability to turn. If Richard Crowley got a problem, here he is, he comes in here, he just nicks it there, and Crowley goes diving in, no doubt whatsoever, a free kick. Positive decision by Vic Keller, and this is a threat now to Bath.
Well, they've got Howard Clark hovering over it, and he scored from 25 yards. It looks like he's going to walk away, and it might be Pike who tries it. Chris Pike, the top goal scorer with 10 goals, although Downs is lining up, and it's Pike who takes it, and he struck it well, and well held indeed by David Mogg.
Yeah, it's a good strike of the ball. Pike made sure he got it on target. That was all important. Here it comes in now. He bends it round the wall. Good positioning by David Mogg, and no problem for him. But at the same time, it's a strike on target.
Good effort from Chris Pike. Chenoweth. Boyle was forward. He was just behind the front two. Brooks trying to work the 1-2. Good challenge by Smith. Here's the much-troubled, experienced Alan Judge, now 33 years of age. Player of the year at Hereford last season, according to the supporters. It's Jerry Gill. Williams, the captain of Bath, who only passed the fitness test on a thigh muscle injury this morning.
He's the type of player that they tell me, they assure me he's a good player and he's used to playing in there. I've seen him play midfield before when I've seen him play.
I think he's quite versatile. That's Gill, another of the versatile men on Bath City's books. Average crowds here are usually only about 500 to 700, but they were hoping for up to 3,000 today, depending on the weather. It's been wet this morning. Pitch has got a bit of a wet top, but it's playing quite nicely. This is Boyle spreading it neatly. And here's Grantley Dix, Julian's brother again. Lost rather a lot of Chenoweth.
Well, Greg Downs did very well there. He tracked Chenoweth right the way down along the line. Got his tackle in early.
Chenoweth, who scored in the last 2 games for Bath City. Had 2 good 3-0 wins in the last week. They're on song at the moment. Crowley.
Looking through the records, as you say, Bath's got a problem with winning at home, though. You know, they haven't really set it alight at home. They've got some wonderful results away from home this season. At Dover, they went and won. But against Slough, there was only one team in it, really. They played very, very well. And I was very impressed with the midfield, especially Martin Boyle, who makes great forward runs, early forward runs. And they get a lot of men in the box for all crosses, which is very important.
Flicked on by Pike towards Nicholson. Then Hall's header. And back by Williams, the captain. Hereford United, of course, with the legendary win against Newcastle United, who were then in the First Division, and Hereford were non-league. The spirit of Ronnie Radford and Ricky George and all that. It still lives in Hereford, doesn't it, John?
It will never be forgotten. Never be forgotten. Ronnie Radford has got sheep named after him, bulls named after him, all sorts of things. He's a cult hero there.
Here's Boyle. Good player, plays just behind the front 2, and out for Chenoweth. Tries to feed it through, but Hall gets there. Difficult away tie this, certainly for Hereford. They're down in the bottom 4 of Division 3, Hereford. Now, they've been leaking goals a bit this season too.
There isn't a lot in the bottom of that league. You know, you only need one result and suddenly you can be away. It's something about confidence.
Now then, the unmistakable figure of Greg Downs. Cousins really ploughing through the challenge. Nicholson tracking back, and the ball almost hits our camera.
I think the ball's got a panel coming off. It just looks as though there's something coming off the side of the ball. It just didn't look right there, and it's flat.
Oh, you're right.
There's a big panel coming off.
Good spot that, John. Well, that was such a crunching challenge by Cousins that might have done it, but I don't think it was that hard.
Nah, it was Greg. It was Greg. It was Greg Downs, committed, great pro. I hope he's successful at Hereford because he's been a pleasure to work with all the time. Here it is there. There's the tackle going in, and there's the ball. You can just see it on the side. There he is. There's Greg. He'll be winding the boys up, stoking the boys up, giving them lots of encouragement.
And as they say at Wimbledon, it was Davis serving with new balls. Here's Mings. Cousins, good ball to Boyle. Nice football inside towards Adcock. Smith gets it away. Bouncing around dangerously. He can't handle that, Judge. It's a nice build-up down the right-hand side by Bath. They look quite promising down this side.
Yes, they'll play football in. Bath will play the ball about. They've got a lot of composure. They've got players who can just hold the ball up under pressure and pass under pressure. Very important factor.
His Cousins cross. Mings is here! And he couldn't quite reach it. Otherwise, Bath may well have gone ahead there.
I've got to be looking at Kevin Smith there. I think Mings got behind Kevin Smith. Here's the cross coming in, and Kevin Smith is in the wrong position there. Howard Clark's done a good job battling away with Mings. Otherwise, he would have had a free header. Kevin Smith got caught ball watching.
Adi Mings here was sent home from training on Thursday. His flu was so bad, but he's made a rapid recovery, and no doubt boosted by the fact that there was an important cup tie to play in.
Great healer.
As well as leveller. as they say. This is Harrison. And this is Andy Rees, who played a lot of football on this ground with Bristol Rovers. In fact, his transfer only went through this week for £10,000. Harrison on towards Pickard here. It's Harrison again. Hereford were pleased that Bristol City gave permission for him to play. They could have cut-tied him quite easily.
I think Bath City were hoping for that, seeing the local, really as you call a local player, would not be allowed to play against them, but they've changed it now.
David Mogg, the Bath City goalkeeper, who when he's not playing is a delivery driver. He actually delivers a lot of the catering stuff. There's a flag up on that there for the challenge.
Well, Vic Callow, I hope, is spot on with this, because it did look as though an elbow went up here by Ady. Yeah, there's the elbow into the mouth. Kevin Smith caught one smack on the chops there, and I would just hope that Ady Ming just learns and says, right, Big Fashion's got in trouble over this late, just late. I hope he doesn't get in any trouble here. It's something all the professionals, Ian, would like to keep out of the game. They're not happy about this part of the game where the elbows are coming into use a lot more.
Well, certainly the debate goes on. It's very much in the news. No yellow card there for Ady Mings, and I think maybe if Vic Callow had the benefit of the video replay, he may certainly have wanted a word with Mings. In fact, he is having a word with him now.
Yeah, quite correctly so. Very difficult for the referee and linesmen to pick this up. Very difficult.
Downs. Up goes Pike for it. Downs again, who's playing as a sweeper in a new system today. Williams wins it in the air, but it falls for Max Nicholson of Hereford. Good run from him. And a decent cross as well. Nobody on the end of it. Chenoweth got it away. And again, Mings and Smith, those two are having a running argument out there.
Yeah, just tangling up in each other's legs a bit there, but Kevin, I'm sure, is used to this. He will handle this with no problem. What interested me was here's the foul coming up now. Just a tangle up of legs. It wasn't anything vicious in that at all. But what interested me was Max Nicholson there. He got to a brilliant position on that byline. Good footwork, good skill, took his man on, and a brilliant cross. Hereford got to believe in that and get more players in the box.
Clark's cross. Up goes Big Pike for it and wins it. Chris Pike has bad memories of Bath City. They knocked him out last year when he was with at Cardiff.
He climbs brilliantly there, though. It's a great header. He's up high, but he just couldn't quite get the power in the direction into the far corner.
Won by Davis. Here's Nicholson. Falls here for Adcock. We haven't seen a lot of him so far. Boyle. Adcock again. Boyle has a habit of finding little areas of space where defenders don't pick him up.
He times his run superbly. He sees the gap, he sees the hole in the defence, and he just seems to arrive in there in the right time. A good forward runner, a good player.
Used to be with Bristol Rovers, who of course play here, and he's been with Bath now for 2.5 years. There's quite a strong connection between Rovers and Bath. Chenoweth is another who was with Bristol Rovers until this season. Pike wins that well in the air. Appeals for handball against Clark, not given. Picked up by Owen Pickard. Back in by Harrison. All a bit scrappy over there. What can Harrison do here? Good work from him. Good support for Hereford here today. They brought something like 1,100 fans in the, what is it, about a 60-mile trip, isn't it, John?
Yeah, they get a great following, especially in the Cup. You know, it just rings round Hereford, the FA Cup.
Good stuff here. Clark has got through. Nearly fell out for Rees. And still something maybe for Nicholson, who's a tricky little customer on his day.
Yes, it's nice to see Hereford getting players in the box, but Bath defending it well at the moment.
Davis's throw. And there's Boyle getting it away. Downs is in there first. That's a good ball from Brooks. Two number 4s together. Max Nicholson, the 22-year-old winger, in here for the skipper, Derek Hall. Hereford beginning to construct one or two good moves. Still no score at the moment. Here's Andy Rees. And Crowley had to reach that, he did. And it's going to drop for the corner.
As I said, Hereford now are starting to settle and starting to pass the ball a bit. And you've got to be doing that in any type of football if you want to win. You've got to be able to pass the ball about, knock the ball about, and tell your movement off the ball. But they must keep their discipline. That's vital.
Nicholson will take the corner for Hereford. And that's well claimed by David Mogg.
And it's a good in-swinging corner, right under the bar, and David Mogg does well. He's positive, he comes for it, and it's a very, very good take early on. He'd be pleased with that, David Mogg.
Greg Downs will be 35 in 8 days' time. Still looks slim and fit, though, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, Greg, yeah. He'll be working as hard as any man in the side.
Now here's Cousins for Bath. He goes it alone, and he was looking for something very spectacular. He might have been watching Bolton Wanderers' goal against Lincoln last night, I think.
Well, you can't blame him here. You know, he's come on to the ball, and he's made a positive move. He's looked up, he's seen the goalkeeper slightly off his line and said, let's go. And it's a great strike. Lots of power in it. You know, it's just not on target, but it was a good idea. Go on, take the chance. They're downhill, they're going forward. Take the chance that one might fly in. If you don't shoot, you don't score.
Rob Cousins, been at the club now for 4 years. He's been very impressive in this opening phase. Harrison. Hall to Nicholson. Got a bit of space, maybe. It's away by Williams. Offside.
The man that Bath seems to be having a bit of difficulty with is Pike. Chris Pike up front. His height is causing a problem, and you can see if Hereford can only get to the line and get their crosses in, Pike is going to be on the end of them, because in the air, what did he stand, 6'3", 6'4"? He is a problem to deal with.
Chris Pike, who got over 70 league goals for Fulham and his hometown of Cardiff City. Player down injured while all that was going on.
It's Kevin Smith.
He's in the wars, isn't he?
Yeah, Kevin, I think he caught one in the back there, off of 80 means, but having said that, you know, it's a battling game. Here it is. He goes down holding his back, and I didn't see a lot wrong there, to be honest. I just thought that's a fair challenge. Means he's got to go for the ball, honestly, and I thought he did there. It's just the position of the knee just caught Kevin in the back by the looks of things. He looks as though he's in a bit of pain, but knowing Kevin, he'll get back up. He'll be all right. This is a situation whereby Greg has got to be organising, which he is doing. From set pieces, Bath impressed me. Their delivery was very, very good.
Well, the man injured, Kevin Smith, was actually in your party that travelled to Wembley in 1987. Of course, he was cup-tied, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was one of the great characters. You know, we took him everywhere because he's in the dressing room. He's great fun, and all the lads like to have a little dig at Kev and take the mickey out of Kev, but he's a smashing kid. He will do Hereford the good.
Now then, Hereford United have to get their defence together as Bath have the corner now. Knocked on, and it almost found its way on the near post. It hit an almost unknowing Alan Judge, on the line there.
I thought Alan had his arms out and he hit his fist and went on the back of Kevin Smith's head, I think you'll find, and goes back for a corner. It is. Oh, scramble.
It was close. Here's another one, and Judge claims it almost breaks free to Mings, but the goalkeeper did very well under a lot of pressure.
That is quality service, isn't it? You know, the ball in an area right with the trouble, right at the near post. There's lots of bodies in there. Alan Judge just sees it very late, pounds it away, and then grabs it at the second attempt. That was good goalkeeping, Alan.
Hall getting the foot in. Clark. A challenge coming in from Martin Boyle. Pickard. It's a bit of a live wire. Good challenge from Crowley. It might break for Hall, and it does for Harrison. Live pictures from Twerton Park as Bath City and the Vauxhall Conference take on 3rd Division Hereford, and Mings, cracking challenge coming in from Gareth Davis.
Interesting thing, Ian, I can just see Kevin Smith really struggling out there. He's holding his side as though it's very, very painful, and he's struggling.
Oh, Rees sent flying there by the combative Mr. Mings, who's much in evidence, isn't he, so far? He's a bit of a character around here, this Eddie Mings.
He's a bit old-fashioned, isn't he? You know, when the Nat Loftus of this world, in he goes with his shoulder, look at that, and go on, take that. Central defenders, or all defenders, are going to be aware that Mr. Ming is on the park.
In the club pen pictures I was handed the other day, it said hobbies night clubbing. Now, not many players would actually admit to that, would they?
No, as a manager, that's the one thing you hate, you know, for a player to come out with a statement like that.
Well, he is a part-timer. Now, Downs launches it forward. Away by Dix. He looks so much like his brother in style, Grantley Dix, that it could almost be Julian out there.
Yeah, he walks like him, doesn't he? A little bit pigeon-toed, you know, and he's got a similar record, as you say.
Here's Harrison. If you're wondering why Hereford are playing in that rather strange-looking outfit, it's because their normal colours are white, and they would clash, of course, with Bath stripes. Nicholson appeals for handball, play on. Pike playing the 1-2, and Hall! Nice football.
That is the first bit of football we've really seen round the box. It's a good 1-2. Derek Hall plays it in with his left foot, out wide, back into Hall. He tries to bend it into the corner around the keeper. At least he got it on target. But that was good football from Hereford. Good build-up.
Hall is a good goal-scoring midfield player. He gets his share of goals.
Yes, I had him as a kid at Coventry. He was in the youth team there, and I signed him for Hereford. He's honest, but he has got a wonderful left peg. He's disciplined in his play. He will do things simply, but he can also take players on. But his striking of a ball, he's got a tremendous left peg. We always say that about left footers, don't we?
By the way, Smith is still struggling a bit for Hereford. I wonder if he might have to come off quite soon. Williams getting across quickly. A man who's had a lot of league experience, Gary Williams, with Bristol City, Swansea and Oldham. Here's Hall, under pressure from Brooks. And a good ball from Brooks. Cousins. And Downs gets the foot in just before the predatory Mings could do something about it. Oh, and Downs caught there in another challenge with Mings. And I think Vic Callow may be forced to have a passing word with Mr. Mings. He's putting himself about a bit. Downs to Hall. Brooks crashes him with a challenge. Hall still down injured. It's Chenoweth.
I think Andy Miggs have got Hereford going at the moment. There's one or two players laying down and trying to appeal for things. I think they've got to say, right, come on, we've got to sort it out. Here's the chance going through here. It's on his left foot. But he didn't really catch hold of the ball, didn't really hit it with the parry or the poke. But Kevin Smith looks as though he's got a problem. He's going off.
Yes, he is going off. I thought he was struggling. And I think it's Anderson who'll be coming on for Hereford United. Colin Anderson, 31-year-old former Burnley, Torquay and West Brom player who was picked up on a free from Walsall at the start of last season. And he is usually played in the left-back position, so it'll be interesting to see just what they do to reorganise here. I'll take a look for you. He's going in the left-back position.
Yeah, I think Gareth Davis will go and pick up Mings. It's a hard job for the young lad. He's only 19, but I'm sure he's got the ability to do it.
Bath City 0, Hereford United 0. Second round of the FA Cup. It's Boyle knocking it forward.
I do believe Bath prefer kicking down the slope, so it'll be important for Hereford United's point of view if they go in keeping a clean sheet at half-time here. They'll be pleased with that performance.
Half an hour gone. Bath City have got a good cup record. This is their 17th appearance in the second round, and they've reached the third round 5 times as well. Here they are attacking with Gill. Up goes Pike for it, well won by Crowley, forward by Rees. Good one too. Clark, it was getting forward. Now Nicholson, he's got room to measure across. It was towards the near post and there was nobody really there. And he gets a little riot act read to him by Pike for the cross. Cousins. Good ball into Brooks. Harrison to Pickard. That's nice from Hereford. Hall. Now Anderson, the substitute. And Jerry Harrison. Good fluent move this from Hereford. Anderson's cross. Pike attacking it and Pickard! Oh, that was a let off for Bath.
A super move. They flowed all the way through Hereford. There was lots of little one-touch going on, and it's a good cross in from the left. Pike goes up. Then it goes to Pickard. His first touch isn't quite where he wanted it. He had to take another stride, and then he struck it well, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. Here's the cross coming in. Up goes Pike. He wanted a better touch there, but having said that, he recovered well.
Now Chenoeth getting it forward, dropping in there for Adcock. Downs gets it away, but Adcock was pushing. This fellow, Paul Adcock, we haven't seen a lot of him so far. He's 21. Halifax Town came in with a bid for £10,000 for him this year. It was rejected. They put it up to £18,000, and Bath still rejected it. He was very prolific in his time with Plymouth's reserves. They think he's got a big future here.
He moves well, he's a good runner off the ball, draws defences all over the shop, and has good finishing power.
Mings heads it on. Here's Cousins with the cross. It nearly breaks out for Brooks, but it doesn't. It's Harrison who picks it up. Brooks gets in a challenge. Harrison. Pickard. Pike's in the middle. Harrison. Not the best of crosses that when it falls, though, to Pike, does it? No. Now, Mings together with Davis. And as it goes out of play, let's get some touchline news from Peter Hunt.
Thanks, Ian. The news on Kevin Smith, the man who had to go off, is in quite a bit of pain. He took a couple of blows to the bottom of his back. Both of those occasions came after clashing with Adi Mings, and the Hereford dugout not too happy with the performance of Mings, who they think's putting himself about a bit too much. But Kevin Smith in a bit of pain, lower back injury.
Thank you, Peter. Up-to-date news, as always, about what's going on off the pitch as well as on it. Here's Mings. Now Pike for Hereford. To Pickard. Good footwork from him. Hall had made an interesting break through the middle, and Jerry Gill did his job well. Brooks. This is Pickard. Hall again, who's seen as a bit of an ambassadorial figure at Edgar Street. Captain at the side and represents the club well off the pitch as well. Picked up by Rees, who plays the 1-2. Now Harrison. Thought about the shot. Rees has come wide. Good move this. And the deflection for the corner kick.
Rees has impressed me. He's passed the ball accurately. He just sits a little bit deeper than Derek Hall, but he's got here, he's in with the strike, strides it well. They're appealing for handball, but no way the Hereford fans could be right. That was a strike and nobody could get out of the way of that. Good strike, good move.
Second corner for Hereford, taken by Nicholson. Mock's handling has been exemplary, not that he was under any pressure there. Now Nicky Brooks. 10 minutes to half-time. Bath really are part-timers. I'm told by the manager, Tony Ricketts, that their players are paid an average of about £100 a week.
Yes. That is a little bit different from Hereford. They'll be on, obviously, a lot more than that because they're full-time. At the same time, I remember the players such as Alan Skirton and that playing here for £10.
Well, Greg Downs tells me the average wage at Hereford is around £300. So that gives you a little sample of what life is like a bit further down the ladder.
Yeah, well, when you get full-time, you know, you need that type of money to live. I wish I was still earning that type of money.
Oh, come off it. He's got a couple of racehorses, haven't you?
Well, I've got shares in a couple, yes. Hope those Sherwood boys get some for it.
Here's Boyle. Playing in the hole, as the pros say, just behind the front two. Martin Boyle. Chinoef. Whole posse of Hereford players in those patchwork quilts. Seeing he makes no more of that. In comes the cross here, and Judge reaches it well. He had Cousins in behind him.
Good goalkeeping. Kept his eye on the ball. He didn't look if there was anybody coming in on him. Caught it at his highest point and then brings it into his chest. Very good goalkeeping by the Judge.
Clark on the overlap, showing good pace, and well tracked back by Paul Chinoef, the 20-year-old.
Howard Clark's the type of player. He can play up front, he can play midfield, he's played wide on the right. Very versatile player, Howard Clark.
Clark gets the cross in, Hall attacking it, and there was a foul, I think, in there. The whistle has gone. No, it hasn't. Well, I thought for a moment Vic Callow had blown his whistle. Might have been somebody in the crowd. There seemed to be a whistle in all there,
There seemed to be one, but and at the same time, I agree with you. I thought Derek Hall was pushing there in behind, and here's the cross coming in, and there I thought Derek Hall pushed it from behind. No, it wasn't Derek Hall. It was Max Nicholson pushing. But there was no whistle.
Still no score here. Anderson under some pressure from Little Adcock.
Bath need to just play it to feet a little bit more, up to the front now.
There's possession so far. Hereford with nearly 55% of it. And they'll be reasonably happy with their work in the first half. I would think Hereford playing away from home to a dangerous non-league side. Chinoef. He was hoping that the draw would pair Bath or Hereford with Aston Villa. He's a big Villa fan, the youngster in the midfield. Harrison. Now Boyle here. Pike. Too far ahead of Clark. Dick's got in.
Greg Gaines is playing a very important role there. He's stopped about 5 attacks so far, being in the right position. He's not pushing up square. He's sitting 10 yards behind the defenders and just picking up the pieces at the back. But he's made 1 or 2 very important interceptions.
Cup run, very important for a club like Hereford United. They were beaten in the Autoglass the other night by Brentford at home, and certainly could do with the money that a trip to Stoke City would bring them. Stoke, a well-supported club, of course, in the First Division.
It's so important for these clubs in the lower division that they get this cash injection of a cup run. You know, every time they sit there, the directors, Peter Hill, the chairman, I remember sitting with them, and Peter is a charming man, good man to work for, but vital that the money comes through those turnstiles from cup games, you know, and that, you know, they would pick up something, I suppose, like £40,000 if they get to Stoke, which is a lifeline to them.
It's Nicky Brooks helping it on, run by Davis. Chinoeth seemed to be fouled by Clark, he was. Howard Clark.
Here it comes now. Yeah, he's just come round the outside of him. You know, it's a foul, no good arguing now. Get on with the game.
Diggs takes it, and they pushed up looking for the offside, and there was nobody in there by the time everything had been compressed. Anderson. Pickard jumps well, away by Crowley.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous tactic. You know, Hereford pushed up, but if anybody had run from deep for Bath, they weren't offside and they would have got in behind all the defence.
But nobody did they?
Nobody did, but I was a bit surprised. I don't think they need to do that because Hereford have got the advantage with height at the back and can deal with all these high balls played in.
There's the offside so far, not very many of them, thankfully. Cloudy, gloomy, but still so far dry Sunday lunchtime in the Roman spa town of Bath. The local side holding Hereford from the Football League to 0-0 so far. Harrison flicks it on. There's some pushing there by Williams, and it'll give Hereford a free kick. Hereford, who made some history themselves as a non-league side, they reached the first round proper 21 times. I think they did it 17 times in a row, and that helped them to get their league admission in 1972.
That's right, it was mainly in the days of John Charles, I remember.
Chinoeth bangs this one away.
He was a great player, John Charles. I remember watching him play for Hereford, and he is still majestic in his older days and did a wonderful job down there for Hereford United.
Well, we've had a few players down the years. Dixie McNeil, Mel Pagic, Darren Peacock, of course, who's now with Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, Dixie McNeil, they'll never get a better striker than him. Great striker. I had a great pair there with him and Steve Davey, two great players.
Not to mention David Icke, of course.
Sabbath.
So we won't. Now here's Chinoeth. No, he leaves it for Dix in the end. Hall. And well trapped up by Pickard. Almost found Nicholson. Some good covering by Cousins. Now Means to chase this one. And the 19-year-old Davis got in well to force him wide, but Mings has another chance. Can he find Adcock? Away by Andy Rees, who was back defending.
There was 2 great long balls played there. One into Pickard, his control was superb. And here's the second one. The outcome is across here, where it's just headed away for a corner, but it was a good break by Bath. Quick on the counter punch, Bath.
Bath City's corner. Pike got to it, back in by Brooks. And wide of the post by Crowley, the defender who stormed forward. close thing.
Very good header. Here it comes the corner, coming across now. There's a bit of a schmozzle in there, just gets a touch. Brooks heads it in, and Crowley just couldn't quite get the turn on it and get it on target. There's Alan Judge trying to clear people out of his way. Here it is, Crowley just flicks it wide. Unlucky, good chance though. That's got to go down as the best chance of the match so far for me.
Richard Crowley, who says Andy Gray has been the biggest influence on his career during his time at Cheltenham. He didn't say whether it was for good or bad.
Was that the races?
It's Downs. Now then, good run here by Chris Pike. He could be through. Pike for Hereford! And, oh, that was a splendid effort, and it deserved better from Chris Pike.
That was a superb run by Pike. There's the one thing I didn't expect to come from. Here he is, he gets his touch, he comes inside Crowley. The right back Gill goes in, he flicks it past him and gets an early left foot to it just wide of the target. A great effort, a great run, very positive and very unlucky. Great skill there. That little touch there, just underneath Gill diving in, was brilliant.
Well, he's always known his way to goal, Chris Pike, and that really was unlucky.
The amazing thing is, Ian, I didn't expect him to go that way. I'm expecting Pike to come into the game on crosses, mainly aerial-wise, but there was great footwork, good skill.
He showed there was a bit more to his game, didn't he, there?
Certainly did.
That's Gill, out to Cousins. Downs is across there with the challenge. Nice turn by Gill. Interesting, into Mings here. Can he turn? Adcock was in there as well. It breaks loose to Brooks. And it's higher! Nicky Brooks has done it for Bath City on the stroke of half-time. It's Bath City 1, Hereford 0. And seconds after Pike Smith, Nicky Brooks with his first goal of the season.
Well, here it is. Ming gets the touch. There's a scramble there. Alan Judge gets a foot to it, but no way can he stop that. It's a great strike on target. It was a bit of a scramble up to it, but there it comes in now. All played in with the outside of the right foot. There's A.D. Mings holding off Gareth Davis. There's a scramble there, pushing going on. Good strike to keep that in on target. Great goal, great finish.
It was a really difficult angle, isn't it?
Yes, great finish, that is. Alan Judge actually got a finger to that. Just couldn't keep it out. The power, good goal.
Well, that is the moment of Nicky Brooks' football career. He spent so much time playing in the Great Western League. He had a spell 5 years at Barnstable, and look at that, a goal in the second round of the FA Cup. No wonder he's smiling.
He should be smiling, because basically he's the defensive midfield player of them all. He's the one that's been sitting in front of the back four, but they do get a lot of men in the box on these attacks. His neck will be tingling now, he'll be feeling marvellous. There's poor young Gareth there getting up after another clash with Ming.
Well, Gareth Davis, the 19-year-old defender, they've already had to take Kevin Smith off, and it's starting to go wrong, this, for Hereford.
Well, the timing couldn't be worse. Greg Downs has got to go in his dressing room now and try and pick the boys back up. They'll be right down. Bad timing. Well, it's bad at any time to give away a goal, but not just right on half-time. They've defended well. They haven't looked in a great deal of trouble. But it's vital that Gareth stays on the park.
That goal, by the way, came 40 seconds into first half injury time.
Horrible time to let a goal in. A wonderful time if you just scored it.
Nicky Brooks is the toast of Bath at the moment. Final seconds of the first half. Anderson gets it away for Hereford. Now this is looking to be a very difficult task indeed for them now against a side who've lost only one of their last 10 games and kept 7 out of 8 clean sheets as well.
Yep. The amazing thing is, Hereford had their best chance. It was a great chance at the other end, and they go straight back down and score Bath. You know, Pike was brilliant.
That's
Ricketts.
Tony Ricketts, the manager. Used to play here as well. They paid £10,000 for him as a player. Happy man. And Bath. Chenoweth's cross, away by Anderson. Here's Nicholson. And if Hereford are going to get back in this, they need some trickery from him. Adcock using his pace to pressurise Colin Anderson. Well, Bath have got the bit between their teeth at the moment. They want to sniff out a quick second. More injury time, and yet another corner from the left, and of course it was from a corner in exactly this position that the goal arrived.
Well, the set pieces are the problem. You know, they're going to have to deal with another one here because his service is immaculate. Just inside that near post, this will arrive.
Flicked on by Boyle. Crowley's in there. Brooks again. And Hereford living on their nerve ends.
The most difficult ball to deal with in football is that accurate ball into the near post. And here it comes, gets a touch. It's the second ball they're attacking. Crowley goes up and Brooks is back in there for his second attempt at goal. He's starting to get greedy.
See, Greg Downs takes a knock in here as the header goes in on that far post there. Well, Brooks, having not scored all season, almost had two in a couple of minutes. There goes the whistle to end the first half. Great cheers from the Bath City fans, and the hero is Nicky Brooks with that goal in first half injury time, and the Vauxhall Conference side threatening to dump Hereford of the third division out of the cup. The half-time score here is Bath City 1, Hereford 0.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Yes, officers, there's something wrong?
Have you seen this boy?
They'll be back for Wayne's World, premiering tonight at 8 on Sky Movies.
Wayne's World, just one of 36 premieres you can see in December on the Sky Movie channels. Call 0506 460000. That's 0506 460000 now, and we'll switch you on.
Now at Dixon's, 0% interest on products over £200. On cameras, Dixon's. On camcorders, on TVs, Dixon. On videos, Dixon. On satellite, Dixon. On hi-fi, Dixon. On Amiga computers, Dixon. All at Dixon's now.
Hi. What have you got for me tonight, honey?
When you're pushed for something to put in the pan, here's something special from the Sun Valley man. Feast your eyes on this neat idea. It's not just chicken, there's veg in here. Now the tasty bit, clever of course. Check out that spicy Indian sauce. Say, lady, what do you think of that? Cooked from fresh in 10 minutes flat.
Real easy recipes, cunningly complete chicken and turkey meals, fresh from Sun Valley.
Where only the best will do.
Oh, by heck, it's gorgeous.
That Gladys Oldthorpe, she never buys her own.
Boddingtons, the cream of Manchester.
Welcome back. So, 1-0 to the Vauxhall Conference side at half-time. Bath 1, Hereford United 0. Shots, 6 from Bath, just 1 on target. They scored with that. 7 from Hereford, 4 on target. Bath have forced more corners, but Hereford have had the better of the possession, 53%. Andy Gray's with us. Long half for a long time there, Andy, and then all of a sudden it exploded into action, didn't it?
For 45 minutes, and I mean 45 minutes, Greg Downs would have been playing in that game thinking, I'm quite happy. We could have done with a goal and perhaps deserved one, but half-time approaching, I'll be saying to the lads, same again second half and we'll get one, and suddenly a goal out of nothing for them as far as I'm concerned. Bath have posed very little threat for me, Richard, and suddenly they produce a goal from basically nothing. But they've got 2 people to thank for it. First one, Eddie Mings here, because he doesn't allow the ball to be cleared. The next one, Paul Adcock, who goes in there and keeps it in there. But the main man, Nicky Brooks there, that's a difficult finish. He deserves an awful lot of credit for keeping his cool there. Because here's the problem you can see that Gareth Davies has here. He wants to clear the ball, but look at the strength of Mings. We've seen that quite a few times in the first half already, and from a very tight angle. That's a quality finish.
Was it a foul by Mings or not?
No, I don't think so. I think he was using his body weight to keep the ball in play, to keep Gareth Davies off the ball, and he's entitled to do that in that situation. But what a good finish it was.
The match facts suggested that Hereford had had the better of it, and they'd had a couple of early chances to open the scoring. Owen Pickard, first of all.
Yeah, John Sillett mentioned Chris Pike, didn't he? He mentioned the height advantage he has, and that's about the only time they've actually connected with it from across. Colin Anderson produces a cross from the left side, and he doesn't necessarily win the header, but he keeps it in there, and that's what Pickard's there to thrive on. I thought he hit it quite well, but fortunately for David Mogg, it goes straight down his throat.
And ironically, the best chance that Pike had came on the floor, didn't it?
He made it all himself, Richard. He picked it up and he ran at Richard Crowley, committed him, beat 1, beat 2, but I think the goalkeeper did quite well, because if you look where he is, he's right out past his penalty spot. Now, a lot of goalkeepers may have stayed back because there are a few defenders around, but look how quick Mogg's off his line. And I think the goalkeeper helped there. And that was good goalkeeping. Although he didn't save it, he's forced Pike to take the shot earlier than he would have liked.
Hereford lined up suggesting that they'd come for a draw. Will they have to change now?
I don't think he'll change anything. Why should he? I think if you look at the facts that, as we've just seen there, the possession was theirs. They dominated possession for most of it. They created the greater chances, 7 chances, 4 shots on target. A little bit more luck, they could be winning this game. I don't think he'll be forced to change an awful lot. Personnel have had to change, obviously, to the injury to Kevin Smith, and they've had to change things a little bit then. But I think he'll be saying now, Greg Downs, keep it going. We can get back in this game. It's certainly not beyond us.
As Andy mentioned, Kevin Smith was taken off in that first half, injured. He's now with Peter Hutton.
Kevin, I guess you must feel fairly sick after that first half.
Yes, it's about the shortest cup game I've ever been involved in, yeah.
You got hit early on, didn't you?
Yeah, I got forearm or an elbow in the mouth, bust all my lip, and then I got an unfair challenge on me and he stuck his knee right in my back, and that was me, and my back seized up and I just had to come off. I couldn't kick a ball.
The player you were complaining about was Eddie Mings. We can show you the goal because he was involved again there, wasn't he?
Yes, look, I mean, to me he's just a bit of a battering ram, what I call a bulldozer, and he's gone in with Gareth there, and as he's fell, he's pulled Gareth's shirt and Gareth's not been able to get in, and the ball's come loose, and the guy stuck it away well from a good angle. But I'm very surprised on Vic, the ref. He's not, you know, stamped him down, and, you know, I've got the nice thick lip and I've got a nice sore, stiff back, you know, and I'd like to see if he can play some football instead of just battering everything.
OK, let's hope we get some football in the second half. Back to you, Richard.
Peter, thank you. 1-0 to Bath then at half-time. Whole of the second half coming up live, and remember, a little later, we're at Ewood Park to see Blackburn Rovers play Chelsea. But next, it's back to Twerton Park for the second half between Bath and Hereford.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Duracell is no ordinary battery. In continuous tests, it lasts up to 6 times longer than ordinary SP batteries. Duracell. No ordinary battery looks like it or lasts like it.
to the maximum.
Get Full On Dance 93. 44 tracks on the best value dance album of the year. Full On Dance 93. 25 top 10 hits with The Time Frequency, 2 Unlimited, Urban Cookie Collective, The Orb, and The Shamans. Full On Dance 93. Out now on Cookie Jar.
Hi. What have you got for me tonight, honey?
When you're pushed for something to put in the pan, here's something special from the Sun Valley man. Feast your eyes on this neat idea. It's not just chicken, there's veg in here. Now the tasty bit, clever of course. Check out that spicy Indian sauce. Say lady, what do you think of that? Cooked from fresh in 10 minutes flat.
Real easy recipes, cunningly complete chicken and turkey meals, fresh from Sun Valley.
Where only the best will do.
Throughout evolution, mankind has played the mating game. Why do we long to reproduce when the odds seem so stacked against us? The reason is simple. Having children is the perfect excuse to use Sony's most advanced range of camcorders. Sony, why men rarely learn to reproduce.
After 100 years, you can now enjoy John Smith's draft in a can. It's got a widget for that just served by the landlord taste. So? Oh, I'm not doing this.
What, don't you like the beer?
Well, I like the beer, it's just not my material. It's degrading.
Jack!
I'm sorry, I am not prepared to compromise my hard man of comedy image. I mean, why should I?
Widget, it's got a widget, a lovely widget. A widget it has got, widget.
Live Wednesday, fast-breaking basketball action. The European Championship.
Absolutely terrific play.
The Kings and Barcelona in a high-jumping, slam-dunking full-court challenge.
Dynamite tonight.
Take time out for a jam good time. Basketball Wednesday at 8. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports.
Welcome back. That's Twerton Park, where our live cup tie is being played out this afternoon. At half-time, it's Bath City 1, Hereford United 0. Are we looking at a surprise here? Remember, we're at Ewood Park. The Premiership action a little later between Blackburn Rovers and Chelsea. That's 4 o'clock after we've looked back on some of the goals from yesterday in the company of Gary McAllister, the Leeds United captain. Back at Twerton Park here, Hereford United and those supporters staring defeat in the face right now. Can they find a way back in the second half? Andy Gray, what do you think?
Well, of course they can is the answer, Richard. They've certainly shown enough in the first half to suggest that Bath have got anything but a comfortable ride ahead of them. I thought they dominated the first half and looked far more dangerous, looked far more likely to score, but that's the wonderful thing about cup football, is you never, ever know.
What is that? Oh, it's a bag of
I
sweets.
don't know, but it looks quite nice.
Yeah. Thought it was ice cream for a moment. It's not the time of year for ice cream, is it, as we approach Christmas? Certainly enjoying it in Bath. It's really a rugby town, isn't it? Not often that football gets pride of place in the city, but that is the case this afternoon. Nicky Brooks' goal separates the sides. Bath City 1, Hereford United 0.
Isn't it interesting to hear centre-halves, Richard? I love when you hear centre-half because they spend half their life kicking lumps out of centre-forwards and then they get on the end of it themselves, and it was funny to hear Kevin Smith say, well, I'm surprised the referee didn't take more action. Perhaps he should have done, but it's funny when you hear the centre-halves. They're always the first to moan when they get a whacker to themselves.
There's been a few come up against you down the years and had cause for complaint?
No, never.
No. Right, let's rejoin our match commentators, John Sillett and Ian Dark.
Thank you very much indeed, fellas. One of the earliest luminaries in this splendid town with its great architecture was Julius Caesar. The latest luminary is Nicky Brooks, who's given Bath City the lead against Hereford United of the Football League. Are Bath going to win this, do you think, John? How do you see it going?
No, I see Hereford. Hereford have played well for me. They've done most of the things they had to do and handled it well. They defended, as Andy said, very, very well. They looked in complete control. They've had a couple of chances, possibly the best 2 chances in the match. But having said that, they've now got to change their tactics slightly and believe in what they're doing, which is playing football, but they've got to get more crosses in. I'd be working at half-time saying, come on, boys, we've got to get round the outside, we've got to get forward, and we've got to get crosses into that box. Now, they're kicking down the slope, which is a big advantage here. I don't care what anybody says, you've got that advantage of the slope. They've got everything in their favour. If they want to make a comeback, they've got the crowd behind them. They've got a good following. Now they've got to roll their sleeves up and do the business.
It's 25-year-old Mickey Brooks, whose goal separates the sides. Bath City, who've shared their ground with Bristol Rovers for 7 years now. So it's Hereford United in their red and blue diamond patchwork who get us underway, attacking the goal to your right at the start of the second half and trailing by a goal to nil. Hall and Pickard working the 1-2. Nice football from them. Here's Clark. Jerry Harrison, who says he's never won on this ground. Bristol City player who's a big mate of Andy Cole's. Apparently Dick's taking a bit too long on the ball. Should know if hitting it forward.
Well, having said that, Ian, I might have had my doubts if I'd be manager of Piccadilly, if he's got that bad a record here.
Well, Richard Keys was saying at half-time, are we going to have the shot? According to the bookmakers, the shot would be if Hereford won.
Exactly right. And I think there will be a shot there. I think Hereford will win this. I think they've got the ability in the side, and I know there's a lot of character in that side, and especially by him, player-manager Greg Downs, he'll lead by example.
That's the former Hereford manager, John Sillett, speaking. Now, here's Clark. Good-looking cross. And well away by Jerry Gill. Corner kick for Hereford and an early chance for them to maybe snatch this equaliser. Max Nicholson to take it. Didn't reach Pike on the far post because Crowley got it away. Here's Harrison. Mentioning that Jerry Harrison is a big mate of Andy Cole's, they still keep in touch. They were not only in the Bristol City side together last year, they were England schoolboys together as well. Moggs, long clearance downfield towards Adcock, who seemed to take a push from Clark in midair, but it's the kind of thing that happens every 10 seconds.
They're used to that in the league they play, these boys are. Well, they should be used to it, let's put it that way. You know, there's no prima donnas around here. As Kevin Smith's lip showed, didn't it, in the interview there?
Yes, he's off the pitch, out of the game. Davis seems to be all right again after that knock he took when the goal was scored in the Hereford defence. That's Pickard. He was quick then and got it into Hall. Tries to feed Pike. Good challenge by Crowley, and Harrison, well, he got the deflection, but no good came of it as far as Hereford United were concerned. Hereford, a town famous for its bulls. They need a bit of the old bull spirit, don't they, here, John?
Yes, they haven't had the rub of the green so far, which is a part of the bull which they'll be looking for, as Lady Luck says. It's supposed to be lucky if you traded it for Hereford. But at the same time, they've got to show a lot of grit, a lot of determination, and there's another man down injured. Funny thing is, it's been the Hereford boys that have been on the deck all the time.
It's Hall who's down, and A.D. Mings over there as well, who's been much involved in the action, combative forward. You'd hate to see him really when he hadn't just had flu.
You know, the great thing about him, as Andy Gray said, he's putting himself about, he's doing a great job for his club. Now, Hereford have got to handle this. They know they've got a big, strong lad out there, and they've got to combat that. We're just saying, right, here's the manager out there saying, well played to his player. Greggs has got to be saying, come on, we've got to get tight with him, we've got to be competitive with him, and we just got to play the ball fairly. Ricketts.
Tony Ricketts there, the manager. Just a difference really between the league and non-league. All week, as he's been trying to prepare for an FA Cup tie, he is a contracts manager for a heating company, and he's been up at an exhibition in Birmingham, so he's been trying to do 2 jobs at once, as it were, keeping in touch with whether his players have been fit, how they've been performing in training. Bath train twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's the man who organises things for Hereford, Greg Downs. They departed with tradition for this game, Hereford. They usually travel everywhere on the day of the match, even to places like Carlisle and Scarborough. Here they stayed overnight at a hotel, and he said the only other time they'd done that, it hadn't worked out for them.
Well, having said that, Greg, I would have said, well, let's travel on the day. But no, you've got to do things properly. That would be the way the Premier League works. They go away the night before, and they'd stay in a hotel. They'd get the boys up for a breakfast, and then a pre-match meal in the hotel, a little exercise, a walk, or out in the park somewhere.
Woman physio is out there, Rachel Jackson, Bath's physio. And there's the injury. Hall, ooh, in a nasty collision with Brooks, the goal scorer. And they both need a bit of treatment after that.
Looks as though it's Derek Hall's head. He's holding the back of his head, and Vic Keller's going up having a word with him. Bit like Harlequin, that shirt, isn't it?
Brooks getting the other side of life as a footballer after the adulation surrounding his goal. I think he's going to be all right, but I've got the ice pack on it.
Yeah, he'll still be thinking about his goal. It was like me with the FA Cup with Coventry and then going to Sutton and getting beat. They done it again yesterday, didn't they, that Sutton?
Life sets you up to knock you down.
Oh, it sure does, and you come down with a bump, especially with your boy side.
I was mentioning Hereford United's travel plans. Usually they're sponsored by a poultry company in Hereford, and who supply them with endless chicken, and apparently they've bought a microwave, and usually their pre-match meal is on the coach, chicken and beans. Yeah. That's how the other half live, isn't it? No luxury hotels for them, not usually anyway.
No, that, you know, really and truthfully, the Southern League would travel as well and do as well accommodation-wise as Hereford can afford to do. But at the same time, they've got a good board there that try to do things right and try to give the manager all they can. But it's very, very difficult down there in the lower divisions. Very, very difficult. I found it very hard to adjust. There's the crowd there. They've got to get behind their team and give them all the vocal support they can. That'd be very important to them.
Peter Hutton has some news for us.
Just some interesting words from manager Tony Ricketts, the Bath manager Tony Ricketts. He's far from satisfied with his first half performance, even though they are leading 1-0. He says he doesn't feel his side were using the ball enough, not passing enough. He wants more composure from them on the ball, and that's what he's looking for in this second half.
Thanks, Peter. Away by Clark for Hereford. Forward by Andy Rees. Across comes Crowley, the experienced defender, who's now 33 years of age, a production planner for Rolls-Royce when he's not in the stripes of Bath City.
I'm not quite sure, but I think I coached him as a schoolboy.
And there's a free kick here for Hereford for some pushing there. And again, in quite a promising position. Hall's come across to take it.
It tells me it's going to be a left footer. It favours his left foot. He'll be bending one in.
Hall to take it. Defenders arriving. Here's Nicholson. He can't reach it. Bounce was bad for him, to be fair.
Yes, to be fair, but you would hope Nicholson would have made a slightly earlier run there, because his job is obviously to say, any ball clearing the back four, like this ball goes in now, I've got to be meeting on the volley. He should have been in there volleying that at the time.
Bath City claimed a famous scalp last year. They went away to Ninian Park and beat Cardiff City 3-2 in the first round. That was a great result for them.
Tremendous result that for them. They've got qualities, Bath, you know. I did say Tony Ricketts is asking for them to play more football. When I saw them the other night, on Wednesday night, they played some superb football, knocked the ball about, especially from the midfield.
Here's Mings in towards Cousins. Rees playing it long. And picking up Pickard. Hereford pushing more men forward. Pike had made a good run. It wasn't picked up, though. And in the end, it was all rather wasted. Brooks getting it away. Adcock with a neat little back heel, but to a Hereford player. Hereford, who must push forward now in search of salvation.
I just wondered how much longer Greg's going to stay sweeping. Greg Downs is at the back. At some time he's got to push in and say, right, I'm going to let the back four play square and push more men forward.
Davis getting it back. On the bench, by the way, Hereford have another striker. We may say him if no goal arrives, Leroy May. It's Downs. Brooks didn't make very good contact. And here is Pickard. Owen Pickard tried the shot, blocked. Gill. Good play by Pickard, who looks to have some real class. And the long-range effort from Rees is closer to the corner flag. In fact, it nearly hit it than the goal.
Yeah, for accuracy, I would say 1 out of 10 for that. But at the same time, what I agree with you, Ian, that Pickard's got great skill, good first touch, and good balance. You know, I think it's time he said, right, I'm going to try running at defence. I'm going to have a go at these defenders and see how quick they are with the ball at his feet. Go on, have a go at them.
Pickard had a tremendous goal-scoring record with Plymouth reserves. So got few opportunities in the first team there. Getting plenty at Hereford. 6 goals already this season. Now, here's Pike, who came so close in the first half for Hereford. Back to Howard Clark. And he gets another opportunity.
Right.
And here's the cross, and there's the goal from Hall. Derek Hall, the skipper, has put Hereford level. He's always stealing into goal-scoring positions, and that time it paid off, and the header that finished it was emphatic, and it was right out of the textbook.
It was quality. That cross from Howard Clark, he did so well. He picked the ball up on the right-hand side. He took his man on, got the deflection, got onto the line, and then picks this ball up superbly well. Just catch it before it goes out. It's a clip, and there's Derek Hall coming round the back, powering his header in at the far post. Great goal. Well played, Hereford United. You're right back in it.
7th goal of the season for Hall. That's very good for a midfield player.
It's a great header, isn't it?
Very good header, and a very good cross too by Clark, deep beyond the far post.
Great delivery.
Now here's Mings. So Bath are asked a question now. And they come straight back. Gill. And Judge showing all his experience. Never ruffled by that. Now, Jerry Harrison. Good run. He's taking them all on Harrison. Brooks got the challenge in though. A little test here maybe of what Bath are made of. Downs. There's a bit more pep about Hereford in this half.
Well, honestly, I think it's the slope that got something to do with it. It's funny, you can run forward easily down that slope, and they look as though they've got the ability in the side to pass the ball, so it's just a running off the ball now, and they had it there. Howard Clark proved you can take sides on from the back.
Are we starting another FA Cup legend here, do you think? We heard about the old Yeovil slope, and here we are now going on about the Twerton slope.
Well, we could be, but there is, isn't there, Ian? You know, you can't deny it. There is a big slope there, and it must be helpful. There's the goal again. Yeah, just going in. And it's a quality cross.
Now, Owen Pickard, Hereford on top now. They had a lot of the first half as well, to be fair to them. Now Downs. Pike attacking this one. It's the worst spell of the game, this for Bath City. Hereford looking at their most threatening. As Harrison flicks this one on, Crowley getting it back.
It would have been interesting if that had fallen to Pickard, that header going back, because he was way offside and the referee allowed play on.
Mings. Rees knocks it forward. Back in by Grantley Dix. Now here's Cousins. Mings attacking this one, but easy in the end for Alan Judge. Really won it. He really clashed heads with Williams. And now he knocked the away there, Clark. That was interesting. And escaped recrimination. I've seen people booked for less than that this season. These new regulations and recommendations to referees.
Frustrates you as a manager and a coach. You know, the one thing, you don't get booked for something silly like that.
Harrison. Brooks. Gill. And Cousins. That's good work from Rob Cousins. Cut out by Davis. Boyle back to Cousins again. Davis had to win it and did enough.
The young lad's come in at the heart of the defence there. He's 19 years old, Gareth Davis, and he's done exceptionally well. He's battling away. He's got a bit of an injury. He's grimacing, but he's the type of player I think will go a long, long way in football. He's got a good career in front of him.
Schoolboy international for Wales was Gareth Davis. As Pike. Well, he was entitled to try it.
Yes, he looked up and he shortened his stride and he really wanted to blast that. He didn't quite make the contact. Here it is, a little flick inside. He shortens his stride, just adjusts his feet, but just pulled it wide.
An hour gone. Bath City 1, Hereford United 1, and Stoke City waiting at the Victoria Ground for the winners in round 3. Nicholson. Brooks is back. Cousins, who's taken the eye a bit for Bath over on that right-hand side.
I think Nicholson deserves a kick up the backside there if I was Greg. Max Nicholson playing wide on the left. All he's got to do is deliver that ball into the danger area. He had plenty of time there, looked up, but his cross was cut out by the first defender. He should be doing better than that.
Hall. Downs playing a sweeper with the up and under clearance, and had to be watched by Williams, and he did that well. Adcock lays this off to Mings. That was a careless ball from Mings. Harrison's got it. What can Hereford do with this? Gill belts it out of the ground into the Twerton Park car park, and somebody's car probably took a bit of a pounding then. It's probably yours, wasn't it?
Yeah, more likely.
Mine was about there as well.
Yeah, mine would have headed it back in, though.
Jerry Gill.
But it's obvious now, seeing Bath, they just look a little bit rattled at the moment. Hereford are doing a lot of pressing, a lot of going forward, and Bath now are standing on no ceremony. Out it goes, clear your lines.
Nicholson. One of those enigmatic wing-type players. He almost found a way through that time, and Hereford get the corner.
I'm sure that's what Hereford would like to see him doing, Ian. They'd like to see him having to go at fullbacks, taking people on and getting to the line.
Now, Harrison's going to take this. That's the view in the goal mouth. A lot of people forward. Hall is there again. We've seen what he can do in the air. Clark is on the near post. And the goalkeeper did well, really, with his fist in the end. A wee bit off balance, too. And shirt tugging. Play on. No, he's pulled it back. Vic Callow now. Picked up the linesman's flag.
Yes, Harold Clark there was definitely having a little tug at his shirt. Well picked up by the linesman.
Vic Callow, it's his last season officially on the league list, though he may get an extension. He's 48 now. He'll have to take a pretty rigorous test, a fitness test that all referees take when they get to that age next summer.
Yeah, I think that's a shame. He's a great referee, Vic Callow. A lot of respect in the game, and to think that he's got to go through a test. He's perfect at the moment. He's a fit fella. He's at the top of his job.
Here's Boyle for Bath. Good challenge from Rees, who cost £10,000 this week from Bristol Rovers. Andy Rees, the number 6 there. That's a lot of money for Hereford. Cousins, here's Mings. Danger here. Chenoweth. He's got through to Chenoweth. Is away by Clark. And here's the experienced Chris Pike. Harrison. He was a regular in the Bristol City side last year, and he's found Pike, Pickard rather, It's opening up a bit now, isn't it?
Yes. There's gaps starting to appear all over the park. That's because Hereford are not pushing up to that halfway line. They've got to come out quicker and close that gap in the midfield. But when you see the legs will start going in about 10 minutes' time, players will start getting tired, discipline should be going out the window a little bit, that's when Hereford should come into their own.
Now Adcock. Very quickly in there. There's Clark. Reese is playing a good game in the centre of that midfield for Hereford, and Clark's left down injured by the challenge from Chenoweth, and then we have a bit of nastiness between Dix and Pickard, and temper's just fraying a little bit, and Vic Callow, I think, may want to have a few words at the very least here.
Well, Chenoweth was very late coming in on Clark there. Harry Clark had already played the ball when Chenoweth got into him and caught him just at the knee. There it is, that's late, that's going in very late, but at the same time he's committed to it, and he's gone all the way.
And then the second one
and
here.
The second one.
Pickard and Dix.
Yeah, Dixie got in that usual well-known Dix tackle, we can call it. And just a little bit on the late side. But Vic Callow's the man to handle the situation. He will sort it all out coolly, quietly. That's experience for you. No rushing for the book, just experience. Seen it all before, done it all before. That is the way to get over. And with a smile. Greg will have to go to the barber soon, won't he?
He's got more hair than I last remember.
He's got more hair than I've got, and all I'm sorry to say.
Cousins now for Bath City. Downs cuts it out. A good solid game back there. Clark is in quickly on Chenoweth. No nonsense between them by way of afters there. Cross comes Williams. Pickard's got it though. Maybe something here for Hereford. Owen Pickard, Pike runs to the near post. It's pulled back, nobody in the gap except Cousins, who tracked back well.
Disappointing that. Pickard did exceptionally well. He came and retrieved the ball with a good tackle wide here on the right. Goes inside, he's got two targets. He's got Pike, who came to the near post, and Harrison, who pulled deep. And he didn't find either. He's got to find one or the other there.
Here's Nicholson this time as Hereford surge forward again. Sensing perhaps that maybe they can kill off Bath City in this phase.
I think they can. I think if they just keep their head, keep their cool, and when they get into these vital positions, just make sure of the accuracy, they'll be there.
Boyle flicking that one on. We've seen very little of Adcock. He's been kept quiet by those Hereford defenders. The man who's got 11 goals this season for Bath. This has gone. Hereford free kick.
Pushing the back area. Yes, Adcock, he roamed a lot more. He wandered a lot more when I saw him in the midweek. He's just keeping mainly into the middle. Well, that will suit Hereford because they haven't got to draw out and they can always have Greg Down sweeping in behind. They've gone man to man. It's very tight out there for the two strikers of Bath, to be truthful.
They've got Anderson on Adcock, and now I think we're going to have the ball changed again. You can't believe this. Here's the third one now.
There's not tampering with the ball going on out there, is there, Ian? Oh, we'll have a test board afterwards.
I think we better keep a discreet silence about ball tampering, hadn't we?
Yeah.
We could end up in the High Court.
Well, Ian Botham's in the pantomime.
Downs, and easily handled by David Mogg. Former England schoolboy and youth international, and also had a little spell in Sweden. Well done by Davis. On by Pickard. It almost found Pike. Now it does. Those two beginning to combine well. Now Jerry Harrison. Clark on the overlap. Another good-looking ball. Over the bar in the end. Mogg had it covered too.
Yes, Dave Mogg was in. Here's Clark again. He just goes down. He just tries to flick the same ball across, and it just goes over the top of the bar. Moggs had that covered.
I think it might have hit Chenoweth that on the way through. It looked like it deflected. But, goal kick it is.
You were the only one who saw that.
It's probably wrong. Here's Gill. Harrison well. Dix asks quite a bit of Adcock and his shadow and marker, Colin Anderson, the substitute, who's done a good job since he's come on.
Excellent job, showed great discipline. He's picked up his man earlier and got there and just played it very, very sensibly. Very, very disciplined. Interesting.
Having been left out of the side as well.
Yes.
So maybe he had a point to prove to his manager. Mings. And Clark will have to work to prevent that being a corner, and he's done that.
Good free transfer, Howard Clark. Came from Shrewsbury. At Coventry, he was a young boy that broke through. I think he was 17 when he played in the first team. And just lacked a little bit of bite you wanted in his game, a little bit of sharpness. But now, it will come now, and this will do him the world of good playing in his lower divisions.
He was in your side, of course, that won the FA Youth Cup, same year as you won the FA Cup, wasn't he?
Yeah, 87.
That's Clark, in fact, pushing it forward now to the increasingly significant figure of Pickard. Boyle trying to make something of that. Rees was in quickly. Pickard picks it up again. Hereford looking threatening and finding gaps. Nicholson. Not a good try.
Well, I think that just shows which is his standing foot to you and I in there. His right foot is not his best, obviously. He's cut inside here. He's worked his way in onto his right foot. And he's, well, to be fair to the lad, he said, right, I'm going to have a go.
It's an interesting point you raised, because I was reading something in the paper the other day, and they said, why do commentators always go on about players' weak feet? They're professional footballers. They should be able to hit it with both feet.
I've got to agree with that statement. You know, we did work a lot on our weaknesses. You've got to, you know, but at the same time, you know, the great Pushkas, the great Stanley Matthews, they only had one foot. It was a good enough, wasn't it?
Not bad.
One good foot is better than two iffish feet. But I've got to agree with that statement. Players got to work harder on their weaknesses.
Grantley Dix. And offside. A long way offside as well.
Going back to that point, in players, I suppose footballers can be called one of the laziest races of people there are. You know, you can't believe all the time they have to just go out against the wall anywhere with the ball and just practice it, you know. But no, you've always got to ask them to do it and be out there with them while they're doing it.
Pike goes up. He's beaten in the air by Crowley. Will this tie be taken back to a replay at Edgar Street? If it has, or if it does, Bath might be mindful of the fact that last year Hereford drew at Yeovil and seemed to be happy with life, but then Yeovil beat them at Edgar Street in a replay.
Yeah, that was a shock. You know, to go to Yeovil and get what you would hope would be the result.
Now, Hall in towards Pike. It almost drops for Pickard, and Gill had got back very well indeed. Jerry Gill, the 23-year-old, who's a plasterer off the pitch.
Fit side, Bath, aren't they? A lot of credit must go to him here. They're working hard.
Here's the corner. Harrison. Ooh, and it hits the bar. I think it was Brooks. And flicked away. Well, goodness me, that was nearly an own goal from Bath City.
I think that was Brooks again, wasn't it? It looked to me as though it was Brooks.
We'll take another look at that in a moment. Just to firm that up, Hall. Now Bath on the counter. And Adcock chasing in here. And well taken by Judge.
Brilliant save that. Allen's come all the way. Alan Judge, he's committed himself. Here it comes here as the ball played in.
Was it Brooks or Cousins? Let's have a look.
It's Brooks.
It's Brooks, yes, as I thought first time.
Yeah, it's hit the bar.
Goodness me, he nearly scored at both ends.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster of day for him. It would have ended up if they'd have got beat with that.
Nicholson. Good-looking cross. Pickard is in there attacking it. And it goes for another corner. These are nervy moments for Bath City.
There was a little bell ringing also for Hereford there, because there was 3 against 3 on the break there. They got caught, and they've got to be aware of that. They must keep their discipline because they got 2 results to play for. They got the draw, which gives them a replay at Eggleston.
Harrison again with the corner, and this time it comes off the head off Brooks again. Pickard, Nicholson, and Dix gets it away. I think Bath are preparing a substitution. I think we may see Paul Batty quite soon, and this might be the opportunity to make the switch. Yes, Batty is going to come on. Question of who is going to be taken off.
See, they don't use the numbers here. It's the old vocal.
Well, they're not holding up a number. Bath City here. And it's going to be Brooks, the goal scorer, who is replaced. Now, the man coming on is an interesting character, Paul Batty, because he scored a hat-trick for Yeovil against Torquay in the FA Cup last year, and he also scored a penalty against Arsenal in the game we showed you on Sky Sports in the 3rd round when Arsenal won 3-1 at Yeovil. But he's an experienced and quite classy right-sided midfield player, Paul Batty. And he's written his name quite large in the annals of the FA Cup already. Might he do it again, you wonder?
Sort of Roy of the Rovers for Bath, then, would he be?
Well, they are hoping so. This is Pike. Forward by Davis, but with not too much perception.
In watching the Hereford midfield, Derek Hall's doing a superb job in there. He's winning lots of tackles and spreading the ball about, and accurate passing, involved in most of the moves.
Taken quickly by Rees. Might prove quite a good buy for Hereford United. Hall's challenge is penalised, much to his annoyance. A wry smile from young Adcock. Now there's the linesman on the far side, Roy Osborne. He in fact is the brother-in-law of Roger Milford, the famous referee. He was actually in the crowd analysing his performance today. It's interesting, isn't it?
Putting brother-in-law under a bit of pressure, isn't he, Roger? Magnificent referee, Roger.
This is dropping in here for Mings. And over the bar by Boyle.
I think that's pass for a shot this time. For a shred on goal. I know, I think here it is here. He's just leaning back there. Here he goes, just leaning back, falling backwards. That takes the ball up and down.
You could see what he's trying to do there, Martin Boyle. It was just the execution that let him down. He did score the other night against Slough in the 3-0 win in the Vauxhall Conference, Martin Boyle. Mings, good header that. Picks up the substitute, Batty. And Batty's going to try it. And Batty has done it! What do you know about this game? Well, we warned you that he was a bit of an FA Cup hero, and that really was an absolute tracer point of a shot from Paul Batty.
He picks up a ball here. Greg doesn't quite go close enough. Now that's made his mind up. I'm going to strike this, and what a magnificent strike that is. Alan Judge got no chance whatsoever. A brilliant strike, a brilliant goal. Should have been closed down though. We should have closed him down at this point. But it's fair play. It's a great strike. Magnificent strike.
The man who got the hat-trick against Torquay for Yeovil, who scored against Arsenal for Yeovil, has now done it for Bath against Hereford. Bath lead 2-1. It's only his 2nd goal of the season. The goal arriving in the 78th minute. And Hereford have only 12 minutes to rescue this now. Well, what an amazing story. He's been out at the side with a facial injury. He couldn't force his way back in. And Mings is going off to get some treatment. But Paul Batty, what an effort, what a shot that was.
Tremendous. No, there was no doubt. His mind was made up by Hereford retreating possibly too far, but at the same time, you've got to take the hat off to that lad. He struck it superbly well, and we've just seen 2 strikes at goal there for Bath in a minute, whereas they hadn't had a shot at goal for, what, 35 minutes.
There he is again, Batty. And now he's down with an injury. By the way, the other thing about him that I've forgotten to tell you is that he was in the Yeovil side that knocked out Hereford last season.
Jinxie, eh?
They must hate the sight of him.
Got to be a jinxie to Hereford. They should know about him then, really, shouldn't they? You know, they should have had his card marked and said, right, the one thing we can't do is let this fellow have room to shoot.
I think you can say it wasn't a bad substitution by Tony Ricketts.
What a great substitution for Tony Ricketts.
It was almost his first touch, wasn't it?
Yes.
And there he is again. Paul Batty. Bath City 2, Hereford 1.
The interesting thing was the tactical change, because they've put somebody wide out on the right. They haven't had anybody there all the time.
10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes for Hereford to save themselves from elimination by the non-league side.
They've got to watch they don't over-push now and don't go mad going forward, Hereford. They've got still a lot of discipline to keep.
Mike wins this in the air. Howard Clark. Now Harrison letting one go, and all that so easily could have deflected into his own net off Williams.
It's a good strike. He's come inside well as Harrison, and he's taken the positive decision of hitting it with what is so-called his weaker foot, and he strikes it as a wicked deflection there. If that had just come inside the post.
And Davis winning it on the far post and over the bar, and Hereford will feel that the break of the ball has not exactly fallen their way here. They've had most of this game, to be honest with you, but they find themselves 2-1 behind. The linesman on the far side has a flag up because we're going to have another substitution. Hereford are going to introduce Leroy May into the action, and it's going to be Harrison who goes off. That's his last contribution, the man on loan from Bristol City. So on comes Leroy May, who's 24, signed from Tividale, the West Midlands League side. Well, one substitute has already played a big role here. Will another?
Well, hopefully for Hereford, yes. It'd be nice to see Hereford get another goal from my point of view, but slightly biased, I want to be truthful. But at the same time, you've got to give credit to Bath for the way they finished off that move. It's a tremendous strike.
Hall. Chase here for Anderson, and Adcock can't keep it in play. Two shots for Bath in the game, and 2 goals.
Amazing.
Hereford 5 shots and 1. Nicholson trying to work a 1-2 on the edge of the box, and Bath will get back and defend now. And there's the clock ticking down, top left of your picture, coming up to 7 minutes remaining. There'll be a fair bit of injury time though. Good ball from Dix, is it? No, he was looking to release Cousins. Now Pike. May arrives in the middle. Pike, danger here, and away by Grantley. Dix really did his job well there for Bath.
I scored then, you know. You know, my left foot went whacking into the screen of the television there.
Hall, scorer of the Hereford United goal. Well played by Mogg. time is definitely now on the side of the Vauxhall Conference team.
Well, with those shadow of doubt now, they've just got to be steady and keep the ball, keep possession, and don't do anything silly, and they've got the result they've been dreaming of.
Bath have claimed 9 previous Football League victims in their history, and they have eyes on a 10th here, there's no doubt about it. Bath leading by 2 goals to 1 after a half that Hereford have been dominating, really.
Oh, without a shadow of doubt, Hereford's been the better side, in my opinion, in the second half. They've played the ball well, they've moved forward, they've shown a lot of attacking flair, but Lady Luck just hasn't run with them.
On by Hall, miscued by Crowley, and he gets away with that, and there might have been more costly consequences.
That's when it's running for you, Ian.
What can Hereford come up with? Just over 5 minutes remaining. Hall flicks it on. Here's May. On by Rees. May again. Away by Chenoweth. Now Andy Rees. Here's Pickard. Might find the ball underneath his feet. Back in by Pike. Crowley belts it away. It's an exciting finish.
That's the way they've got to play at Hereford. They've got to throw things now and get things into the box.
Hereford United have a corner. Up comes the red-haired Davis into the box. The cross arrives on a Bath head. They'll be back in again by Anderson. Up goes Pike for it, and a vital save by David Mogg.
It's a good header. You know, the ball's slung in the air by Anderson, and off his left foot. It's a quality ball in, actually. And Pike goes up. It's a great header down, but good goalkeeping by Mogg. Gets his body behind the ball. Everything's safe for Bath.
Now here's Adcock. Good challenge by Anderson. Don't forget, this all just part of a big double bill for you on Super Sunday today. Still to come, the Premier League game between Blackburn Rovers and Chelsea, live from Ewood Park. Boyle plays it back for Batty. And this time, not such a good touch, not nearly such a good touch. That shell he delivered from, what was it, 25, 30 yards for what is increasingly looking like it might be the winner.
It's a bombshell to Hereford, that would be.
Williams putting Mogg under a bit of pressure here. The goalkeeper has done absolutely nothing wrong all afternoon. Here's Gill. Up to Adcock. On by Batty towards Mings. Bolted up well. Good skill that from Mings. Cousins. Hereford now can counter-attack though. They need something quick. It's 2 against 4. Pike. Away by Williams.
Pike was attempting the wrong foot them there. I agree with that. There's the manager, Tony Ricketts. He can't wait for that watch to get round. 3 minutes to go.
The long ball in towards Pike again. He just couldn't get over that one. Well, there's the clock ticking down, under 2 minutes remaining, plus, of course, whatever Vic Callow, the referee, wants to add on for injuries and stoppages. They call Bath City the Romans. It's not a bad nickname, that, for a team who are looking to do a bit of conquering in the FA Cup, is it?
Got a few gladiators out there as well, haven't they? And, you know.
Gill into touch, and really at this stage, anywhere will do for Bath City. They want to keep that ball out of that penalty area.
Is Richard Crowley.
Nicholson tries to reach it. but he can't because Williams was there. Mings does well. On by Batty towards Adcock. And out of play. Took a deflection off a Hereford player. It'll be Bath's throw, and they'll be very happy to keep the ball down in that corner.
And Tony Ricketts will be happy with that ball. They've just got to keep possession down in that far corner now. For us. They want somebody just to stand on the ball in the corner.
Certainly what Bath, I'm sure, will aim to do. Nicholson gives away another throw in. Hereford need to get it out of there and fast. 35 seconds plus injury time. Bath 2, Hereford 1. Is it going to be Stoke City against Bath City in round 3? It begins to look like it.
It begins to look that way, but it was some goal, wasn't it? And, you know, it was a tremendous strike by Batty.
Nearly ripped the net off, didn't it? On by Pike. Here's Clark. Good move forward and some very good tracking back by Chenoweth, who's more or less playing now as an auxiliary defender for Chenoweth. The flag is up on the far side. It's been taken down now. Play goes on. Pickard. Clark. Pickard again. And Downs. Greg Downs skidded. It seemed to take a deflection. It did. It's going to be another corner kick for Hereford United.
Yes, Greg, he's got a great left peg, Greg. He didn't really catch on it, but just got a deflection, not quite enough. But it's a corner, and Hereford have got to be pushing men forward now and taking the chance.
And here is that corner. Up goes Pike. He got to it as well, and it wouldn't quite drop for Leroy May, who was attacking the far post.
Yes, Leroy, if he'd have been on his toes here, he might have got a touch. It's a great header. He's twisted in mid-here and just flicked it, and Leroy was just a little late arriving. That's the second time a Hereford player has arrived there late at that back post.
Over a minute into injury time. Vic Callow is starting to take glances at his watch. The Bath fans, as you would imagine, are whistling and reminding him that time is up. Now there's going to be a substitution. Adcock is coming off. And Bath City bring on another substitute in Gary Smart. Forward by Hall. Here's May. Almost down for Nicholson. It was a nice little just down. But Bath bring it away again. There for the challenge on Boyle. Indeed there is. And that will eat up more time.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a shadow of doubt, that's a foul. Anderson's committed himself there to going in and giving a bad foul away, but at the same time, referee spot on. Vic Callow got the decision right.
First booking of the game in injury time.
He wouldn't want to do it, but he had to.
And offside there. No, Anderson didn't give Vic Callow too many options, I don't think.
No, he's perfectly right, correct. As he's done all day, Vic Callow's had a super match. Controlled it brilliantly.
What must be the closing seconds of this now. Bath, the Vauxhall Conference side, are within sight of round 3. Great excitement around Twerton Park among the Bath City fans. Fighting into every challenge now. Dix gets this one away. It's Cousins. Now Boyle. And that's well played for Batty. Bath still have possession. And this time the flag goes up. Now Hereford have to launch this ball forward and fast.
Yes, they got it now. Throw caution to the Wyndham. They have pushed a lot up virtually.
Up goes Pike. Paul helps it on. Away by Boyle, who's back defending now. Downs heads it back in. Paul is limping now, the Hereford skipper. We have now played, what, over 3.5 minutes of injury time. Gill knocking it long, and again, an offside flag.
Ian, give Bath credit, they've shown great discipline at the back. They haven't hung around, they've kept the ball going forward, they've kept doing what is annoying to Hereford, keep playing the ball, and Hereford got to bring the ball back, free kick, offside.
And they've made the most of the opportunities they've had. They haven't had many. Now then, Anderson launches it long. Greg Downs, the player manager. And the ball is kicked away on the sidelines by one of the substitutes.
The substitute goalkeeper is the only one left, isn't he?
Yes, I think it was the Bath reserve goalkeeper who did that. He might have been booked for that without coming on the pitch.
That
Gill.
would have been interesting.
Downs.
Cross.
Long, well won by Crowley. Now then, Davis. Surely a last chance now, but Mogg has claimed it to tumultuous applause from all the Bath fans.
What a solid display he's given Mogg in goal. He's played exceptionally well, he's done everything right, hasn't made a mistake all afternoon.
Downs forward. Over 5 minutes of injury time played. Clark. Good-looking ball. Mays in there. And so nearly for Hereford. Deep, deep into injury time.
Great ball in by Harold Clark here. He twists to really get that cross in. In comes... Oh, just gets a foot to it and over the bar. It's a chance. It's got to go down as a half chance. He's sliding in there. He gets the touch. Gets there first. Just nicks it over the bar.
Well, from that range, he would have possibly had a right to expect that to bulge into the roof of the net, but no.
No.
It's been that kind of day for Hereford, really.
Yes, yeah. You just haven't had that bit of luck which you need.
But it's been an excellent performance by Bath City. And the referee blows his whistle. It's a Roman conquest again in Bath. The Vauxhall Conference side have knocked out 3rd Division Hereford, and there's the hero, Paul Batty. Tony Ricketts, the manager, celebrates. Bath City are away to Stoke City in round 3. It's only the 6th time in their history that they've reached that stage of the competition. And the celebrations can begin for a football team in this town of rugby union stars and supporters. Amazing how it keeps on happening for Paul Batty. And Hereford United go out of the competition. They love that here. And Bath City have put their name up in lights. They're challenging too for a place in the Football League. They're up in 5th place in the Vauxhall Conference. It's a great time for them. In a moment, we'll try to grab a word with some of those Bath City heroes backstage. They'll be popping a few champagne corks, I'm sure, already in that dressing room. So let's go backstage, shall we? Let's join Peter Hutton.
Paul, congratulations. What a great result for the club.
Smashing, great result. Means a lot to the club. At the 3rd round tie against league opposition, it's good for the club all round.
A real battle though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. Hereford. Not the team that they look like at the bottom of the league. Second half, they pushed us hard. They had a few chances, but in the end we won.
I'm sure you want to see your goal. Let's have a look at it.
Okay.
It's an incredible strike.
Well, I do that every week in training, but the lads don't agree with me.
I believe you. Quite a long way out.
No, it's a good run, Gilly. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Well, watch it through. So what were you thinking of these moments then?
No, they were backing off me all the time, so... Smashing, great.
Final words, Stoke away, next round, any thoughts?
Well, obviously Stoke away, but we've got games in between then, league games, and that's our bread and butter of the league.
OK, congratulations though, well done. Back to Blackburn.
Thank you, Peter. John Sillett and Ian Darke can't help but feel a bit sorry for Hereford United, but that, Andy, is a fabulous win for Bath, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt about it. That's a great result for Bath. Shows you that the bookies were right after all, Richard. They made Bath favourites before the game, and I think they rode their luck a little bit, no doubt about that. But in cup football, when you're under pressure, you have to dig in. They did that in the second half, although they conceded an equaliser, and then you thought, well, Hereford are just going to go and win this game. That was certainly the impression we were all getting. When managers, you often say when they cross that white line, there's not an awful lot a manager can do to win a game for you then, but with a substitution you can. And what a marvellous time to bring on Paul Batty. What a fantastic strike. You won't see many better than that around the country.
And that's 3 from the conference we've seen win live on Sky Sports this year: Halifax, Yeovil and now Bath. After the break, back here at Ewood Park, we'll be turning our minds to the FA Premiership showdown between Blackburn Rovers and Chelsea in the company of Gary McAllister of Leeds United.
Kick off your Christmas shopping this year with the best in football merchandise, only on QVC's soccer specials, starting tonight at 6. Shop from home this Christmas with QVC.
Take one incredible genius.
Wow, does it feel good to be out of there?
3 magic.
ਪਿਆਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਗੁੱਟ ਪੀ ਮਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਪੀ ਮਤੇ ਨਸਾਰੀ